Hello, welcome to episode 233 of Learn, Do, Become Radio. I'm April Perry, and today we're talking about 5 ideas to change cleaning from drudgery to magic. And I'm so excited. I hope today's episode will give you a huge lift and transform the way that you look at cleaning the house. As a quick note, we have an upcoming Arise workshop that's happening on Tuesday, April 16th, 2024, where we're going to dive deeper into this topic. And I'm sure we're going to be talking more about it throughout the Arise membership. So come on in at LearnDoBecome.com/Arise to learn more. And if you're listening to this podcast during the month of April, we have 2 exciting events to help you clear your space for a Command Central. And we're doing an all-in-one step Command Central in a day inside of our Step Mastery program. So you can learn more about that at LearnDoBecome.com/step2024. Okay, so just little updates there. Okay, let's jump into today's episode. So when I was growing up, I rarely cleaned. My parents were amazing. I had a happy, loving, thriving childhood, but cleaning and organizing, they weren't our thing. And as I grew up, it just became harder and harder to manage my life with all the piles and messes. And so I studied and interviewed, practiced, and did everything I could to learn how to live in peace and order. It was a big undertaking for years and years, but now I help others to do the same. And I'm just so glad that you're here and you're part of it. So first, I just want to share a few principles about housework in general and just my perspective on it. And then we're going to dive into the 5 ideas that can, change the cleaning from drudgery to magic. So as we were introducing this topic in our Rise membership, and we do some reflection questions at the beginning, and we were getting some feedback, there were some questions and comments that came in about the gender stereotypes around housework and the concern that some people, usually women, feel more societal or family pressure to do housework, even though everyone contributes to the workload. And you might be nodding your head thinking, yep, I always have to do it, or whatever. Okay, now there are obviously a lot of conversations that we could have on this topic, and there's often a lot of emotion baked into this. Everyone has had their unique experiences, right? But here are just 3 principles that I want to share as a foundation before I dive in, because I think it's important we get on the same page. And I think that these principles are generally accepted by most people, at least once you hear them. But you might have some different ideas, and that's fine. So we're kind of here to have a conversation, a respectful conversation. But here are the 3 principles I want to cover. Number 1, there is value in life-sustaining work, and there is a psychological lift available to anyone who participates. Okay? Whether male or female, this is work that makes a difference. Okay, number 2, our job is not to force others to see the value or feel that lift. Even here on the podcast, I'm not here to force you to do it. I'm here to invite you to do it and to feel it. But our job isn't to make everyone else think the same way that we do. And then principle number 3, our job is to decide what amount of work and kind of work makes sense for our unique situation, to have respectful discussions with others in our household so we can cooperatively balance our responsibilities, and to take ownership for our own experience. Okay, so that's just where I wanted to start. And really, at the end of the day, whether you agree with my perspective or not, I just hope that this podcast will give you the chance to think about your own housework and your own experiences, and perhaps make some shifts in a positive direction, okay? Because we all want to have an environment where you walk in and you just say, oh, this feels great. And you can relax at the end of the day, or you can do your work during the day if you work from home, or you can have great experiences with those that you bring into your home or those who live with you. And I just want us to see our homes as these beautiful places where we're strengthening relationships and doing our most important work and replenishing, and not see our homes as places we need to escape, because I know that happens a lot. Okay, let's jump in now to the 5 ideas that will change cleaning from drudgery to magic. All right, so first idea is to select your standard. Now, this is where we get to look at our current responsibilities, including the size of our home and the number of people for whom we have stewardship, the amount of work that needs to be done to feed and clothe and nurture everyone in the household, our personal energy level, others who could share the work, and where we want to be on the clean and messy spectrum. Okay, so in our family, we like to say clean enough to be healthy, messy enough to be happy. This is also where we can decide what we will leave undone and what work we will hire and what we could do to alleviate any excess pressure. Maybe it's some crucial conversations or some downsizing or putting better systems in place, etc. And this step often takes some serious effort and often needs to be revisited, but it's essential. And just looking at my own life, just kind of adding a little bit here, this is where, I look around our house and I say, okay, there are certain rooms that really matter to me, okay? And there are maybe some rooms like Eric's office I don't touch, our teenage son's room, I go in with him and we do some work on it occasionally, and he has some responsibilities weekly, to kind of keep it maintained. But there are some things that really do matter to me and some that don't. For example, even in our bathroom, we have these blinds and they're kind of high up and they get really dusty. I just don't worry about them. I don't ever clean those blinds. And we're just planning to hire someone to come in, once a year or something and do some of that deeper work. So this is where Eric and I have discussions about, well, what is our standard? What matters to us? And, it's where you probably need to have some of those conversations. But once you have your standard and you say, okay, given my workload, my energy, what I'm doing in the community, what I'm doing with our family and our neighbors and LearnDoBecome and all of this, how much work does it make sense for me to do every week so I'm not, tired and exhausted and resentful? So hopefully you can go through this process as well, even though it might be a little hard, and select your standard. All right, idea number 2 is to clear clutter and routinely reset rooms. I have some alliteration here with these ideas. Now, the reason I love decluttering so much is because it makes the cleaning part of life so much easier. In episode 137 of the podcast, and we have it linked at the bottom of the show notes here, I shared 8 decluttering insights that rocked my world back in 2001. That was when I first learned even what decluttering was and how you could do it. And I went through our whole apartment and filled our little 89 Toyota Camry with so much stuff to donate. And it was the first time I felt like I could walk into my apartment or home and just breathe. But I would say when I learned to reduce the number of my possessions, 80% of my angst around cleaning totally just went away. Because, if you go into a kitchen and you don't have to move 18 piles and then clean the kitchen, it just feels so easy. You just go in the kitchen and you just quickly wipe things down and you're done in 10, 15 minutes. Now, we have a lot of resources in our LearnDoBecome directory that go deep into decluttering. So please check out that resource if you want more. It's just LearnDoBecome.com/directory. And then, of course, there are tons of decluttering resources online from different authors and YouTubers and podcasters and teachers. It's awesome. You can really get lost in that world, but there are tons of great things that can help inspire you along the way. And then as part of this resetting the room, it's just the basic process of making a room look nice each time you leave it. So for example, making the bed in the morning, taking excess items with you when you move throughout the house. So this needs to go in the laundry area or this needs to go upstairs or whatever. Loading dishes right away, wiping counters, etc. And Eric and I have a video about how we keep the house clean as a family, and it's on our YouTube channel. I'll also link that on the show notes page. So you can come to the show notes at LearnDoBecome.com/episode 233 to see all the links. Okay, idea number 3. Revisit responsibilities and replenish relationships. No one likes to do housework when they're feeling resentment or fatigue or overwhelm, right? And this idea about putting relationships at the center of housework is perhaps my favorite of the 5 ideas I'm sharing today. I took a class back in college called Work and Relationships in the Home as a family science minor, and I had no idea how it would impact my life so deeply. But the main concept is that shared family work is central to the beauty and meaning we find in everyday life. And when done mindfully, the mundane work that needs to be done inside a household can actually be the backdrop for building memories and having great conversations, sharing our values, and creating family ties that will truly last. And sometimes this part looks like, chore charts or critical discussions with family members about who's going to do what and how the whole household will work together to maintain an agreed upon standard. And sometimes this part does feel frustrating because people have different ideas or preferences, or, your children might whine when you ask them to do anything. But it's so important to set this foundation. And then once those initial decisions are made, this is where the beauty and fun comes in, because the focus shifts from clean up the mess to let's enjoy our time together while also nurturing our home environment. And just as I was sharing just those little basic concepts, I have a flood of memories coming into my mind of all the times that we cleaned and worked together as a family. Because I took that class in college before I had any children, when Aaliyah was born, I just said, okay, I'm going to do housework with Aaliyah. I was home with her for several years before Eric started working from home, and we were doing our business home together. But for even when she was a little baby, I'd have her lay on my lap while I folded laundry. And as she got a little older, she started helping me fold. And once she could walk, she would go get the wastebaskets from the bathroom, bring them to me, and we'd dump it in the big bag. And we started really working together. And even now, so we've raised 4 children. We have about a year and a half left with Spencer before he's an adult. And even now, Spencer and I will unload the dishwasher together, or we fold blankets together. And as we fold, we give each other a little kiss, while we get the blankets when they meet in the middle. We worked in his room the other day and just helped him declutter. He wanted to move some things around. And it was just this time where we could just enjoy our conversations, enjoy talking, and enjoy laughing about some things and talking about memories and just being able to be together. There are just countless experiences where our relationships have been built because we were just doing mundane work. I mean, I'm sure you have these experiences in your own life. Think about the favorite times you were maybe, chopping vegetables in the kitchen, or making a meal with someone you love, or maybe you're folding socks together, or maybe, you're cleaning a little window together, gardening, or something like that. But when you have time to do the boring work with the most important people in your life, that's where your relationships are solidified. And I just can't say enough about it, because housework, when I talk about housework and house cleaning, my brain lights up because it means so much to me. Okay, idea number 4, tighten up your tools. This is more of a logistic thing, but one of the reasons I didn't like or even know how to do housework when I was growing up is because we didn't have tools. We had some towels and a couple cleaning supplies and a vacuum that kind of worked, but that was about it. So finding the right tools for your home and family, including maybe having duplicates so family members can clean together, or so tools are more accessible, can make a huge difference. And it might seem like a pain to have to think about these things, but having what you need on hand really is a game changer. For example, we have 2 cleaning caddies. We don't carry the caddies around as much now, but when we had 4 children all living at home with us, when we had the 2 cleaning caddies, that each one was stocked with paper towels and some cleaning supplies and a scrub brush for, whatever. Anyway, we had a bunch of things in there. And then our children would just go grab a caddy and take it to their room, and so while one person's doing vacuuming, the other person's got the caddy and they're doing their bathroom and dusting and things like that. That made a huge difference. Now in each bathroom, I have some cleaning supplies right under the sink. So if a bathroom is ever dirty, I'm like, oh, I can just clean it. It's right here. I don't have to go find the cleaning supplies and come back to the bathroom. It's just there. So it's simple. And having the duplicates also has been so great, like dusters. You have 2 dusters, you can dust together. We even have 2 vacuums. One needs to be repaired right now, but we have 2 vacuums. And so we can have them in different locations in the house. So it's just easier. So we can just grab a vacuum. And this type of thing, just having the right tools, it just makes it feel so light and happy. In fact, I was laughing because I went we had like a girls' entrepreneur trip, and we met at a friend's Airbnb. And I was talking with her mom and her aunt afterward, who owned the Airbnb and had let us stay there. And they were getting ready to clean it. And her aunt was like, "Oh, I just love cleaning. I especially love cleaning bathrooms." And she was so excited about it. And I didn't love cleaning bathrooms. I'm okay cleaning bathrooms, but she loves it. And I said, why do you love cleaning bathrooms? And she said, "Oh, I have this pumice stone, and it's like on a little handle, and I just love taking pumice to the porcelain and getting it really clean." And so I was asking her what this tool was, and she told me, and I went and ordered some on Amazon. And then now I have one in every bathroom, and it just makes me laugh because every time I, get the pumice stone out and clean the toilets, I think of this cute aunt of my friends who was so happy about it. And she just loved like that feeling of accomplishment. Now, the thing is, I have to pause for a minute because I know sometimes you're thinking like, April, seriously? There are more important things to do in life than cleaning a toilet. I totally get it. And I understand often cleaning toilets are explained as like the least desirable job in the world. I just don't see it like that. And the reason why is because of what I'm going to get into now with the number 5. Okay, so let's move to idea number 5. Mindfully create magic. I currently consider cleaning house to be as replenishing as lunch out with friends. And I know that probably sounds crazy, but here's why. When I'm cleaning, I'm also doing one of two things. If I'm cleaning alongside a family member, I'm building a relationship, like I talked about just already. So we're having a conversation and we're singing together. We're enjoying that feeling of friendship and family. And if I'm cleaning by myself, I'm either listening to a great audiobook or a podcast or a music playlist, or I'm thinking about my life, breathing deeply, and having an internal conversation with God. And as I move around the home, I'm considering each space, how it feels, if it's set up optimally, if there's anything I could do to make it feel more welcoming or peaceful. I'm thinking about how grateful I am for the privilege of having a home and a family. And I'm planning how I can use the gifts I have to support others. And it becomes something like a meditation where I'm resetting my heart and my mind, and I'm removing anything stressful or overwhelming from my physical environment. And so when I think about cleaning, whether it's cleaning a bathroom or vacuuming my carpet or dusting or whatever it is, I think about how I have this chance to just step back from my busy life and my phone and, emails and projects and all of the busy stuff. And I just get to be calm and breathe and reset my external space while I'm also resetting my internal space. So it honestly just feels like I'm bringing myself into alignment with my higher power, and I'm just having this not like a relationship with my home, but kind of like an engagement with my environment. And if you've ever watched that darling Marie Kondo she wrote The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, and she had a Netflix series. I watched a few episodes of that before she would declutter a home or jump into it, she would just kind of have this time where they could just breathe and think about the home environment. And there really is beautiful, beautiful power in all of that. So I just want to emphasize that when you mindfully create the magic, it takes the drudgery and makes it into something that feels replenishing and will become one of your favorite activities. It was really sweet the other day because I was telling my college-age daughter about this upcoming Arise class. So we were sitting on a picnic blanket in the backyard, and we had about 20 of her college friends over for a barbecue, and everyone was playing games and eating and having a good time. And so there was a little blanket on the side. So Eric and I were there, and then our 2 sons and our daughter, and then one of her college friends was right there. So we're all just sitting on the picnic blanket, and I was saying, "Oh yeah, I actually am teaching in a Rise class about cleaning," and I forget how it came up. But anyway, we were talking about it. And she said, "It's nice because whenever I invite people over, I don't have to worry that the house will be a mess. Now she'd come over a couple hours early to prepare the food with me, and we, got all the fruit platters ready and got all the stuff set up and got the chairs in the backyard and all that. But the house was clean, and Eric had made the backyard lovely. Typically he does more of the outside of the house and I do more of the inside of the house. So it was just a place that we could all enjoy our time together. The point of all of this isn't to say that you have to like housework or that you have to have a clean house. What you do in your own space is totally up to you. However, there is a beautiful feeling of light, love, and connection that I believe each one of us can feel inside our living space. And while it does take some effort to create that, it's absolutely possible. Okay, sending lots of love for all our risers. I'm excited for the workshop we're going to have. And I invite anyone listening to this podcast to come share, your respectful comments. Let's build the conversation. Let's strengthen one another as we build our homes and families. I think that this is a beautiful work that we all get to do. And as we help each other to be able to see it with a healthy perspective that actually works with our whole life, then I think it makes every day more exciting, where we do wake up excited and go to bed content. Okay, see you soon. Thanks for being here with us at LearnDoBecome, and we're so happy to get to be a support to you. Okay, take care.